I do. I did. I'm done. And it is on and popping, y'all. Kandi's one woman show apparently was a spectacular success, but also yielded a confirmation of some tea that had been permeating throughout the land. So, for those of you guys who have been living under a rock, you may know that Todd and Kandi are no more. Okay. They are no more, and they have been no more for quite some time now. Apparently, around last maybe July, I think it was, Kandi confirmed all of this from the stage, y'all. She confirmed it from the stage. And so the boots on the ground have been booting and suiting and booting and letting us know exactly how things went down. No, I'm not going to spoil the entire show for you because you need to go out and get your tickets. Okay? Go on ahead and get your tickets, and you might see, I don't know what you might see. You might see things that are familiar to you. You might see things and faces and people that you know. So go out and support the tour. But let's get into the confirmation of it all, okay? So apparently this was a no cell phone type of situation. But y'all know the people, you know what I'm saying? Just like at the movies, the people want to, do a little screen recording and whatnot. Y'all don't need to be doing that. Okay. Don't do all that. But I mean, because you don't want to spoil the show, right? But what I will say, I mean, I don't know. Because when I think about going to concerts and stuff like that, it was fun to know what Beyonce was wearing during the tour. It was fun to see, like, it built up the anticipation for me. But y'all let me know how y'all feel because a lot of y'all don't like to be spoiled about things, but I'm about to give you a spoiler, okay? She does reveal in this one woman show that according to Kandi, Todd cheated, okay? In such a way that it actually just broke her down. It just broke her down, and she just couldn't do it anymore. She just could not do it anymore, okay? I think there might be some new music on the horizon. So, for me, you guys know Escape is still out there performing and doing their things, which is so interesting to me about the Latasha of it all because it seems to me like the individual members of Escape have always kind of dibbled and dabbled in their own separate things. But then when it's time to turn into Voltron, they get on stage together. So it never made sense the way that Latasha seemed to move as of late. I see your comments, okay? Even on my post that I made about, if you follow me on Instagram, I be wild, okay? I be wild and I just post whatever comes to my mind. And I was thinking about this idea of why Danity Kane could never work it out together, right? And so then I did this thing called a Yanla Fix My Band. And I started putting and honestly, it was some of the girl groups because I was thinking like about In Vogue. Then I was also thinking about who else? In Vogue. At one point we could have done Salt and Pepper. They seemed like they didn't worked it out getting that thing together. But also 3LW, and then it got people and Total, and they got people to thinking, well, what about Escape? And I was like, what about it? That's interesting to me. And I hadn't initially counted Escape because it seemed like they work really well as a trio. But I always wondered, and it may be, and a lot of you guys had commented that it's the husband for Latasha that serves as the biggest issue. I mean, she also has to have some level of accountability in that too, because again, all the women seem to be doing it. I was following Tamika, and she's off in China doing some things, and I guess working on building out her empire as well. Just like I told y'all yesterday, Angela, go down to the China and get yourself some fans and spend way less than $50,000 because I don't know why. I I'm not going to digress on that. Back to Kandi in this show, okay? Back to Kandi in this show. She does set the record straight about some things that are happening that people were assuming were happening in the streets as she was going through the divorce. No, there was no baby. Okay. and Kandi was not cheating with a man or a woman, okay? Because that had been sprinkled throughout the streets as well. That's all I'm gonna give you because I do think that for the rest of it, you need to see it and hear it in her words. There are still tickets available for some of the shows that she has coming up, so make sure you guys go out and get your tickets. And Kandi is always gonna be out here making some money moves, and so I'm not mad at it. And the same for Todd. I'm sure he will be out here still doing the producing and all of the things. The secret is indeed out and confirmed by Kandi. That is what happened. And now you may do your speculations. All right, so let's talk about more Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, so our friends over at the No Chaser _TV page have given us a clip from Watch What Happens Live. Now, I didn't watch the episode on Sunday night, honestly, y'all, because I would have had to watch Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and I did not feel like doing that, and I went to sleep. So, with that being said, what I did do was followed up on what happened with Pinky and what she had to say, and I thought that this was very interesting. When she's playing this game, it's basically Andy asking her about which of the bobbing heads of her castmates, specific questions about them and what her thoughts were. And so let's get into some of the fun of it all. So she says that Drew is the person on the cast who has the biggest ego. That's interesting. I will say this. If you guys follow the What Else Is Going On podcast, me and your girl Taria Faison, we get into it about the Drew of it all on the Real Housewives of Atlanta and so much more. That is out. That will be out today. So make sure you guys tap into that. We have a good old kitchen table discussion, and honestly, we go there about it all. So tune into that. But it's interesting that she says Drew is the person with the biggest ego because, again, we oftentimes feel like Drew is sometimes playing a role. And I just feel like I want Drew to strip it all away and just show up. You know what I'm saying? Angela was apparently the least welcoming, as we will likely see next week. Okay. I'm waiting for the clips to pop off with some of her and Angela going at it, but I'm assuming that they will probably wait to give us that until either Friday or until, well, the day of when it airs. We'll see it then. But let's get into some more things. Obviously, K Michelle is the person I felt like she has the best rapport with. The person that her husband has the best rapport with is also K Michelle. And the person that she trusts the least, though, is PHAEDRA. She trusts PHAEDRA the least. Now, it's interesting because what I think that means is that because we see in the episode that it is actually indeed Kelly is the person who says that she still eats the meat. And I gave you guys my rundown of what I thought happened with Kelly and Pinky yesterday in the recap for the show. So be sure to check that out if you haven't done so already. But long story short, I do wonder if Kelly made those comments when she realized Pinky was going to be on the show and had left her on red and they had not had a conversation. Once Pinky apologized, it seemed like the dynamic maybe shifted a bit because Pinky in the first episode was labeled by Kelly as not a girl's girl. So I think once Pinky apologized at Kelly's grand opening, things probably shifted, but I think Kelly had probably already told Shamia about the girl eating the meats. That's what I think. But again, I don't know. Okay, I'm only making an assumption here. So what that would mean is now that Pinky has seen the episode and was on Watch What Happens Live, one would have to wonder that there may be more that happens with PHAEDRA and Pinky as the show goes on. So we will have to wait and see. She also says that the person who is most willing to throw their friend under the bus is Shamia. That's going to be interesting as well, because Pinky also said that Shamea will be the person who has the most to answer for at the reunion. I think this was a separate interview. And she says that Shamea gets, you haven't seen it yet, but Shamea gets very raw this season. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure we will see some of that when we get a mid-season trailer in about 2 or 3 weeks. That's what I'm thinking. All right. And you know what's funny? I think there was a question about the biggest bank account, and she says that she herself feels like she has the biggest bank account. And I'm thinking to myself, for as much as you talk about your bankruptcies and these lawsuits and things, it's dubious to me why you would say that you have the biggest bank account, especially when moments before Andy asked her, who do you think you have the most beef with, or something like that? And then she said her bankruptcy. So I'm just thinking to myself, as if I am just viewing, if I am the creditor and I am viewing the show, I'm wondering if you've got all of this going on in the bank, in the big bank accounts and things, then mm, maybe you have the money to pay us. I don't know. Maybe she got money like that, but maybe not 5 million. No, I'm just listening to what Pinky says, and I am analyzing and doing my own computations. That's where I'm at with it. So we do get some tea that we can kind of parse out and maybe anticipate some things that are going to happen. But I'll be interested to see how these things play out. Kandi, if you could basically add a DC date to this show, I think you might can sell that one out too. Okay. So chop. Okay. All right. Here I am making demands. All right, y'all. So listen, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Like this video, y'all. Like the video. And of course, I will catch you in the next one.